The video you're getting ready to watch is me basically retraining a racehorse. This horse had won quite a bit on the racetrack, quarter mile race, and but it had some time off, and so they want to bring him back and try him, you know, for other events like barrel racing or roping or something else. So the difference in how a racehorse has to go is quite a bit different than most other events. Racehorses are taught to run into the bridle and push on the bridle. Everything else we're going to do with him, he needs to come off of the bridle. So you're going to get to see how I approach that and how I put the first ride on this horse after his racetrack career. So I think you're going to see a lot in this video. Every step matters. His body alignment, everything that I talk about in a lot of the other videos are going to be at play here. Just watch it to the end, and I think you'll get a lot of tips that can help you in a lot of places. Well, as I understand it, and I'm not an expert on it by any means because I'm not a racehorse trainer, but it's the same analogy like you would have if you had a person, a little kid sitting on your back, on your shoulders. If they lean out over you, you're always stepping underneath that weight, taking bigger steps to get under it. And that's what a horse will do when a jockey, you know, his weight's in the stirrups, but he leans his body out over the front like that, and that puts more weight on the front end. Well, the horse has got to reach further to get that, get under that weight. Then if you take and put a weight way out in front of that horse, which is what pulling on the bridle rein would be the same as, it puts more weight on the front end pulling on that bridle rein. Well, that's what causes the horse to have to reach even further. So they actually can run faster because of it, but they can't run very long like that. Everything we want to do with them as far as riding horses go, we need that good athletic position to be one that they can last longer and get some stamina, which that's what softening one does for you. See, his whole body's changing in appearance there now. And look at his neck right now. He's got a completely different profile neck-wise that he did just a few minutes ago because of not pushing up on that bridle. So a racehorse that's not pulling on the jockey's hands probably isn't going to win any money. So these horses don't know how to come off of pressure. They've been taught to run into pressure most of the time. Some of them are started real nicely and some of them aren't. By that I mean some of them start the race horses realizing that they're not all going to make race horses. So they're going to get them broke in a way that they can transfer into another career as easy as possible. The better broke they are, the easier that is to do. Then they start racing on them. Another school of thought in the racehorse world, as I understand it, is they don't want to get them broke. Because the more broke they get them, they feel like that takes the run out of them. I don't know. I don't know which is the right way. I just know the philosophies that I've heard people talk about using. I personally have never trained a racehorse. I've ridden some like a jockey. That's an experience too. My experience in racehorse riding, the guy had me come ride a colt one time about 30 years ago, and I said, "What do you want me to do?" He said, "Just sit up there and ride." And I found out pretty quick why them guys wear goggles, because it was muddy that day, and the horse that I was running against got out ahead of me, and I couldn't see nothing. And then things kind of cleared up, and then I realized the horse I was following had turned. We're still going straight. That was my racehorse experience. That horse is still pushing on my hands. And then when he kind of looks like he's not pushing on my hands, he's diving all his weight on that front end. I want him to back up here. See him just lowering his head and putting more weight on his front end instead of picking that front end up. So while he's backing, I'm going to have him turn to the left here. So far, he hasn't yet. There's a good step. That was the first step that he took decently. By that I mean first step that he used, actually picked his front end up and moved it right there. Good step. I want him to turn to the left here. Just behind the bridle. There's a good step right there. Let him have that. I don't like how he turned right there. He just shouldered in, pushed through that turn there to the right. So I'm going to have him stand up, look to the right, look to the right. That's a good step. Look to the right, look to the right. See his hip wanting to go left? I don't want that. So I'm going to keep that hip from going left with my left hand. And kind of half-hearted correct step. That's a good step. I'll let him walk out there through it. I don't like that. When he made that turn, he just shouldered in and dove in there. He come back off of that bridle, quit standing on his head, pick his body up instead of leaning out over his front end there. Pick his head up and come backward. Try to get one side at a time. Coming back. Right rein will be connected to the left hind. Left rein connected to the right hind. That's the horse just leaning and pulling all his weight down on that bit instead of coming off. There he came off of it. As for it again. Just wait on him. Just wait on him. There. Now we're starting to get a little freedom. Now, most generally, these horses are held while the jockey gets on, or the jockey jumps on, or whatever they do. And so that more than likely this horse isn't used to having somebody get on without being held. So I'll see how it goes here.